So far, we've learned how to solve quadratic functions and equations using diamond method when a equals to 1 or when a is greater than 1. But in today's lecture, we want to learn how to solve quadratic equations that can't be solved by diamond method. Another way to approach solving a quadratic equation is completing the square method. But before getting to that method, let's just work out some examples. How would you solve for x squared equals to 9? So as we know, the x has been raised to the power of 2. Therefore, it was like two numbers that were the same and been multiplied together, and those two numbers gave us the result of 9. So we can take the square root of both sides and find that number. Take the square root of x squared and take the square root of 9. We get x equals minus or positive 3. Remember, negative 3 times negative 3 equals to positive 3. Sorry, negative 3 times negative 3 equals to positive 9. And positive 3 times positive 3 equals to positive 9. So this is just one way of solving it. How about if we have something like this? X plus 2 squared equals to 9. Well, it is exactly the same. We just take the square root of both sides first. We get x plus 2 equals to positive or negative 3. And then solve for x separately. For example, we said x plus 2 equals to negative 3. Solving for x, we get negative 3 minus 2 equals to negative 5. So one of our x values is negative 5. And the other is x plus 2 equals to positive 3. So solving for x, we get positive 3 minus 2 equals to positive 1. This is also another x value. So as you know, we get two results out of a square root. So let's just expand this part without taking the square root and see what equations would we get. We had x plus 2 squared equals to 9. Expanding it, we get x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals to 9. What we do here is like to get 0 on the right side, we would say x squared plus 4x minus 9 and minus 9 here. We would get negative 5 here equals to 0. Okay, now let's consider that we only have this equation here, and we didn't like came back. We're just gonna assume that we didn't came back all the way from here to here. Okay, so we're just gonna consider that we only had this equation, and now we want to factor and solve this quadratic equation. How would we do that? In this case, we can use the diamond method, and it's possible for us to do it. But in some cases, it is not possible for us to use the diamond method, so that's why I want you to know another method. Let's solve this equation by completing the diamond method. If we couldn't use the diamond by completing the square, if we couldn't use the diamond method here, and like if we don't know the diamond method, what would we do here? Look, we just came back from here, from this part to this part. So if we just go back to this part again, if we go from this equation back all the way to this part again, we can just factor it out by taking the square root of both sides, right? And get these results out. So how to go back? So first let's just put this constant here on a right side. Get x squared plus 4x equals to 5. So in this part, we have to add a c to the left side. That when we want to like factor it out and just factor it out, we get only one parenthesis, like here, raised to the power of 2, okay? Remember, only one parenthesis, so it means these two must be the same in both of the parentheses we get. If we factor a quadratic equation, we get two parentheses out. X plus one number times another parenthesis, which in that parenthesis we have x plus another number. But in order to only have the one parenthesis raised to the power of 2, our two parentheses must be exactly the same. So in order to do that, we must add a constant here that is the result of multiplication of half of this number, and I'm going to tell you what it means in a second. But before anything, remember that when you add anything to the left side, you also have to add that to the right side as well, okay? So in order for me to only have x plus 2, I'm in one parenthesis raised to the power of 2, I have to have two numbers that are the same and would be added to like 4. Remember the diamond method here? Here, in this part alone, you can use the diamond method in order to find your C. Your B is 4, and you must find two numbers that are exactly the same and give you your B. Okay, if you divide your B by 2, you get 2. Okay, so you have 2 plus 2. Okay, so these two must also be multiplied together to give you your C. Okay, so 2 times 2 equals to C. And our C here is 4. So whatever this number is, the half of your B number is, it must be squared. So now we have x plus 2 times x plus 2. Now we have two parentheses that they're exactly the same. Therefore, we can write it as x plus 2 squared. If we add our constant c to this side, it's a really important point to remember. So we just add our constant c to this part. So that's why we're able to factor it out like this. If we expand this, we get x squared plus 4x plus 4. So we add 4 to the left side. We also have to add 4 to the right side as well. We add the 4 to the right side and we get 9. Look, now we can just take the square root of both sides and solve for x. So if you didn't know the diamond method and you're being given this equation, you can solve it like this. Okay, and as we solved it here and found the two x values.